Well, my friends, you should know by now that if I come out from behind a tree, the skate park review is about to be abysmal. This one is disgusting. At first, I didn't think it was going to be worth a full-on YouTube video, but when I got here and saw how it was built, even though there's not much there, it is well and truly going to blow your mind, and those socks are going to be knocked off. So come over this way real quick, because we've got quite a lot to go through considering the very small surface area of this park. The council, believe it or not, was actually stoked that they managed to get this whole situation here for £34,000, which is roughly, well, nearly $50,000. So keep that in mind, 50K this cost if for the Americans out there, 35K roughly for the English. So, first of all, one of the best well-made bits of the park, the bin. This thing's actually pretty good. People should use these more often. Now, getting on to our first of many gripes I have with the skate park, this is our first quarter pipe, right? Looks all right, looks fairly decent until you realize that the concrete that they've used to almost mitigate the transition between the metal and the floor has a horrible transition, like an aggressive transition itself, almost like a bank. So going up and down this thing does not feel rainbow rhythms, if you know what I mean. So that's just the first thing that we got to talk about. Now we're going to have a little look at the coping. So if you go to the side, I'll sit at the top. And bearing in mind, this skate park is weeks old, not months, not years, it's weeks old. So they've painted over the coping, which, bear in mind, is already tiny as it is. Like, you need a microscope to see this thing, and you're not locking into anything because the transition of the coping has been painted over. Like, they've literally put paint in the crack where it would separate the coping to the ramp to actually get locked on. What the fuck? Why have they done this? How have they done this? Who is responsible for this? Some very simple questions we need to know. Now, if you bring the camera up here quickly and take a look at the flooring here, it looks like it's aged a millennia with how much oxidization, with how much oxidization I think it is that they have on this ramp. Oh my God, it's terrible. The rust, the paint's chipping off, everything's going to shit. And if we have a look at this little surface here, none of it's flat. Not a single iota speck pixel of this ramp is flat. It's all just wavy bumps, three-dimensional. It's literally worse than a teenager's face when it comes to bumps and debris. So with that being said, let's slide our way on the aggressive transition, grab the board, and we will have a little drop in on this before we go. But yeah, the first and probably most egregious problems are on that ramp there. But if we go to this middle bit here, and bearing in mind again, 34 grand, just take a little pan of the park, 34 grand, $50,000. Money well spent, if you ask me, when you take a look at this rail right here. Not only can you see the nuts and bolts there, so if you took a tool up here, you could literally pull this rail up and take it home for your own personal skate park. That would probably cost less and be better than this one. But if we take a look at where the rail ends, yeah, it might look all right because you can almost think that this is the end of the transition here, but the transition actually ends after the concrete extension. The concrete extension, why? So if you're hitting a board slide, you're coming out, back wheel's gonna be landing on the transition, board's gonna be shooting out, and you're gonna have a butt cheek either side of this rail, and you're not gonna have a smile on your face. So that is a big issue with the rail, which probably won't be here for that long, because now that this video is going out, you know someone's coming up here with a tool and taking that bad boy home. We've got the same problem on this side, again, with the transition. The ramps are ultra short, and I've also just realized, why is the rail not in the middle? Come here real quick and have a look at this. Look. Why is the rail not in the middle? Why have they given one side of it like 2 feet and the rest is like 6 feet?
Look at the concrete.
So say that again, Hans?
All the concrete is all jagged on one side compared to the other.
Yeah, the extension of the transition here that they've obviously like not fully had the material for, or not had the specs or the capabilities probably to finish building this drag and drop driveway. So they had to be like, shit, we need to fill in the gaps. What have we got laying around? We got concrete, have we got enough? We ain't got enough, let's just do it anyway. And that's how this happened. So yeah, the driveway, the rail, anti-symmetrical, which now that I've noticed it is really pissing me off. But anyway, that's not even the biggest part of the problems. But before we do that, I do have to quickly let you know that the Adrenaline Alley Halloween All-Nighter is officially upon us on the 25th of October. I'm going to be hosting the skateboard jam there. We're giving out tons of prizes, and it's also a fancy dress party, of which I'm going to give £50 of my own money to whoever I think has the best costume. So the 25th, get it booked. I'll see you there. Now you may be thinking, Webz, back in my day, we would have been stoked to have anything. Why are you complaining about this? Well, in 2025, you would think at the very least, the concrete on the floor would be smooth for some nice flat ground tricks. If I fall, I don't want to hurt myself too much. Let's just hope it's smooth. Well, let's have a quick look. State-of-the-art Neolithic era flooring. This thing is so rough, and you've got the millennium crack going from one side to the other. Honestly, there's more crack on this park than there was on my father's DVD case back at home. So with that out of the way, it goes to show this skate park is absolutely disgustingly terrible. The ramps on this side are a very similar vein to the one that we started off over there, so I'm not going to bore you with all the details. Coping painted over. The top of it is actually looking all right, to be fair, and the main ramp has also got the concrete transition extension. Why on earth this park was ever built and how they thought 34 grand was a good deal blows my mind. Buell St. Mary, sort your shit out, because I don't want to have to come back. I'm probably not going to.